Hello and welcome to this webinar where I'm going to be talking to you in detail about Insight Portfolio Gold, which is a superb opportunity to get involved right at the outset with me personally, working with you as your investment partner on the first 6 properties to get this up and running and motoring for you, and with my team growing you a superb portfolio. Just while we're waiting for everybody to get logged onto the webinar, a couple of quick questions to ask you, just so I've got a feel of the audience and who's listening. So if you can just click as quickly as you possibly can on these. Nobody else can see what you put. It just gives me a kind of percentage overview of the people that are on this particular webinar. So this first question is an obvious one. How many investment properties do you currently have? So you might say none. If you've got none, you might have 1 to 3. You might have 4 to 10. You might have 11 plus. And we work with kind of all levels of investors, of course. We work with people who are not, have not invested before. They've got some equity in their property, or got some savings or some inheritance, and they're saying, do you know what, I want to get this working, but I'd like to work with an expert, to get an expert to do it for me so I don't make the mistakes, or I don't have the time to do it, so I'd like to have an expert who's also got the time. So we have people start with none, or people with 1 to 3 that have kind of done a little bit, realize property is a good thing, but realize it's actually hard work. And then similarly, we have people right up at the other end, kind of 4 to 10 or even 11 plus. I say even including 11 plus, where people say, do you know what, I've done this and it's working for me, but I really need to kick on to that next level, but I don't have the ability to source the right deals at the right prices, or I don't have the time to do this, or actually I just want someone else to do this for me. So thank you for clicking so quickly. We've got about a bit more than normal, about 45% of the audience are saying none. We've got about and then about an equal split of just under 20% are in the 1 to 3 bracket, just under 20% in that 4 to 10 bracket, and just under 20% as well in that 11 plus bracket. So thank you for clicking that so quickly. Second question, again, no one else can see your answer, but it's just to give me a feel, is what money from equity plus cash do you have to potentially invest in the right investment when you find the right investment? So it might be you don't have much money, you're 0 to 10. It might be you're in that 10 to 35,000 bracket. It might be you're 35 to 100K. It might be 100 to 250, or you might be 250K plus. So again, if you can click that as quickly as you can, if you would. So I want to be really, really clear. The webinar that I'm going to go through now is specifically, it's for one of our products. There are 7 products in total in our range of done for you property investing. And this particular one is kind of our market leading in terms of the returns that you'll get for a 250K plus investment. So it's called Insight Portfolio Gold is the product, and it's for people with 250K plus to invest. So those of you that have said you've got less than that on the webinar, if you've got at least 35,000, so you're between 35,000 and 250,000, you won't get the same returns that I'm going to show on this particular webinar on Insight Portfolio Gold, but you can get a product called Cash Flow Builder Plus, which is the same types of properties, the same golden 6 rules, the same levels of discount. The 250K plus product comes with extra bonuses, and that comes with extra kind of support because the investor's buying a lot more properties basically. So you may want to just watch this webinar, but then you need to ask us specifically for the webinar on Cash Flow Builder Plus instead, just so you can see the difference between the two. That's if you're 35,000 to 250,000. If you're 250,000 plus, you're on exactly the right webinar. This is our market leading product for you. And if you're less than 35,000, then our done for you service is probably not for you. Well, it isn't for you because the minimum investment is 35 to 38,000. You may be able to save up and get to that level, or it might be you want one of our education products and you might want to speak to one of the team. You can always email info@theinsightgroup.co.uk to ask for any other information, and you might want to ask for information about our VIP education program, where we'll teach you how to raise the money that you need to invest, and we'll teach you the strategies that work if you've got less money. etc. So 35,000 less, this webinar won't be for you, done for you won't be for you, but you may want to look at our VIP programs. 35,000 up to 250,000, then this will be of interest, but this product is not the right product for you. You need to be asking the team for Cash Flow Builder Plus, and 250,000 plus, then you're on exactly the right webinar. This is for you. Okay, so by the way, if you can't click and enter there, you can also always use the chat box and just put your information in there so we get a feel. So I've got, by the way, about 15% of the audience are below 35,000. I've got about 35% in those middle ranges between 35,000 up to 250. And then we've got about 50% of the audience at 250 plus. So thank you. Okay, so let's get stuck in. Let's have a great look at this particular product. So this is me, by the way. This is Aaron Curry, myself. If you've not come across me before, just to be clear, founder of the Insight Group. The Insight Group is a group of companies all owned by me and my wife, Layla, run by me and my director and my management team. To be honest, run by the director and management teams, not really run by me on a day-to-day basis, but that come together to deliver a superb done-for-you investment. And we've been doing that now for about 11 years, and we've helped our clients to buy over 1,000 properties in the last decade alone. So I don't say this to brag, but I say it to show you that we've been here, done this, got the t-shirt. We've been investing and growing portfolios for clients for 11 plus years now. I've been investing for 2 decades myself. I've got over 200 properties in my own portfolio. And Made Easy Education's our education arm. We've got anything from a webinar to a 1-day event to a 3-day and year-long training, our Property Mentorship Academy, to a full 2-year support and training, our VIP program, and then right up to people will pay me £40,000 for a year just for an hour a week of my time. So it's a big investment, but they know at the end of that year they'll be getting financially free. So and kind of all points in between. So, and we've helped to educate over 100,000 people just in the last year alone. I suppose most importantly for this webinar, clients are getting returns within 5 years consistently at 50, 80, 130, 200% plus within a 5-year period through working with us on our done for you products. So as we go through the webinar, I'm going to share a few case studies with you, just to, I suppose, to motivate you and to show you that everyday people can do this. I mean, this particular investment is 250k plus, as I said, but you know, this example here's Tom. He signed up with us in 2014 and invested £100,000. He's 5 years in with us. He's got 4 properties in his portfolio. He's about to purchase number 5, but his ROI is 77% return on investment. If you think about money you've got sat in the bank right now, that's making you 1% per annum if you're lucky. So over a 5-year period, you'd make 6% if we're being generous with compounding. Okay, if you've got money sat in equity in other investment properties or in your own house, you're literally making nothing. It's making 0% return on investment. And here's Tom, just started with 100,000 and he's made a 77% return on investment. Of course, by the way, you've got upfront costs when you buy a house. So when you first buy the house, you've got stamp duty, you've got solicitors costs, you've got refurb costs to get it up and running. They're one-off costs when you first buy the house. So they eat into that return on investment and you only pay them once. So the return on investment will be even higher. But 77% versus 6% compounded in a bank versus nothing sat in equity. And if he stopped investing now, critically, he'd be on £10,000 per annum of rental profit, okay, plus £27,000 per year in releases which are tax-free. So basically 100k investment, he'd be on £37,000 a year inflation-proofed for the rest of his life. Pretty good return on investment within 5 years, okay? So when people are thinking about property, and when I'm teaching about property, we teach the 10 key areas that people need to master to successfully invest in property. Now, this webinar is not about education and it's not about teaching you in detail the 10 key areas, but it is critical that you understand the depth of knowledge we have and the depth of expertise we bring to this investment. We believe we're not like any other done for you service that there is in the UK. We know we're the largest portfolio builder in the UK. We're buying 30 to 40 properties, completing on 30 to 40 properties a month. So we know that we're the largest in terms of number of properties we're buying, number of clients we've got, number of team we have, and we consistently deliver results long term. Okay, so but just to give you a feel of those 10 key areas, I've chunked them up into what I call my 5 Ps. And then under each of those P's is two subsections. So let's quickly go through these. When you invest, you need a clear purpose. So when we talk to you, if you're interested at the end of this webinar in potentially working with us and moving forward with us, then we need to make sure that we understand your purpose. What's your goal? Too many people get into property investing because they've got some money and they don't know what to do with it, so they buy a house. Or they move in with a partner and they keep their other house, so they become an accidental landlord. It's not deliberate, or it's not deliberate beyond the next 1 year plan or 6 month plan. We need to be clear on the end goal. Where are you trying to get to? So we'll make no apology for wanting to understand your goal of what you're trying to achieve, where you're trying to get to, and then we can work backwards from that to make sure that what we've got is going to deliver the outcomes that you are looking to deliver. So we need to be clear on your purpose. The second area is plan. There needs to be a distinct plan. And when people go to property and they say, do you know what, I've got £500,000 to invest, I've got £300,000 to invest. The challenge is, because there's no certainty, there's no written plan that says we're going to go to point A, then B, then C, then D, then E, then all the way to Z. So you know every step to getting to house 10 or house 20 or house 30. Because there's no detailed plan, people either get fearful or they don't move forward at the pace that they should do, because there's no plan to give you that certainty to keep moving forward. So we need to be clear on the purpose, clear on the end goal. Where are we trying to get to? Is it to create an income of 150,000 a year, 300,000 a year, 50,000? Well, you know, what's that income target in how many years? And then here's a detailed plan that takes you all the way there. Okay. So third area we need to master is payment. Okay, we need to understand money. If you've got money in savings right now, or you've got money set in equity, you're getting at best single returns on investments. It's like, you know, if I run a webinar and I could take the same content I put in an educational webinar, just sit in the pub with one person, teach them that hour of content, they would have a great evening, I would have a great evening, but I've done one-to-one returns. If instead I can run a webinar and 400 people attend a webinar, same hour to spend, same content, but now I've served 400 people instead of one person. That's leverage. That's using my time efficiently to help more people more quickly. And you need to be doing the same with your money. Do you know how to get multiple returns with your money? Do you know how to make your money grow as quickly as possible? Wealthy people go to a dinner party. Guess what they speak about? Money. They learn to make more money out of more money. The everyday human being goes to a dinner party, starts to speak about money or say, hey, what are you earning? And they never get invited back again, because it's not a common topic in most households. So you need to understand money, you need to understand payment, and you need to work with people that do. The next P is purchase. Of course, we need to source brilliant properties. We need to negotiate well. We need to sort the solicitor, sort the mortgage, get the property bought, refurbish it, tenant and manage it. This is a done for you service where everything is done for you. Of course, you're going to have to read and check you're happy. You're going to have to say, yeah, I'm happy to buy that house. It's your house that you're going to be buying. You need to, you know, fill it, sign the mortgage application and complete the solicitor's paperwork as we buy the house. But once this investment is up and running, it's exactly that. It's an investment. It's not a second job that you want, managing loads of houses, which is another reason people don't kick forward, because they end up creating another job for themselves. This is an investment where you're putting your money in, you're using the experts to grow that money in the best possible way. Okay. The fifth piece is profit. This is all about profit, and I'm going to be showing you shortly. You know, we're talking about 100% return on investment within 6 years, 480% return on investment within 12 years. You know, and that's being safe and secure with the modeling and cautious with the modeling. Okay, so when I put this all together in an education piece, I call it the safe, secure portfolio plan. Now, no investment is risk-free. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is a risk-free investment. No investment is risk-free. If someone's telling you that, they're telling fibs, okay? But what I can tell you is we de-risk as much as we possibly can. whilst maximizing the upside. That's what you need to do as an investor. You want as much upside as possible whilst de-risking as much as possible, okay? And it's about striking that sweet spot, and you'll see the returns on investments we get whilst doing this safely and securely. You don't need to gamble on HMOs or trade a load of your extra time to get the extra money you'd get out of serviced accommodation. This is kind of safe, secure, boring, in inverted commas, family let, but they're not boring. They get you wealthy in a really, really great amount of time. And there's nothing boring about that. It needs to have a plan, and it needs to lead to a portfolio. Getting 2, 3, or 4 properties never makes you financially free. It's when you get up to those 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 properties, depends on your financial goals, that you get real financial freedom. Now, if you look at this shape, we've got the 5 Ps. Under each of those Ps is 2 subsections, and we're not going to cover it in detail now. What I need you to know is that we went and interviewed 50 people who consistently made 100K plus a year from property. And we looked at their journey of how they started off, what they started, where they started, and what helped them get from there across to financial freedom through property. We looked at mine and my wife, Layla's journey. We were blessed enough about 11 years ago now to get ourselves to financial freedom. For me, the definition of that was where we had all the income coming in from our rental profits that paid for our current lifestyle, plus some groovy things on top. So we looked at our journey, we looked at those 50 people's journey, and we looked at a couple of hundred other people who had attended my webinars and then gone and taken action, attended webinars again, gone and taken action. And we interviewed them to find out what had helped them get to financial freedom. Probably most critically, we then went and found intelligent, articulate people who had the resources but never made it. They either never got going because of fear or whatever, things got in the way, life got in the way, or they got 1, 2, or 3 properties and then it stopped. So they had all the same resources, they could have got there, but why didn't they? And we were able to identify 10 key areas that if you master those 10 key areas to an 8, 9, or 10 out of 10 and take the action, I can almost guarantee whatever time, money, or experience you're starting with, that you'll get across to financial freedom. The scary thing is if just a couple of those areas are missing. You can be an 8, 9, or 10 at 8 of them and just have 2 of them at a 3 or a 4, and I can almost guarantee that you will fall over along the way, that you won't make it. And here's the thing. You might be an intelligent, articulate person. Can you learn to do property and do it yourself? Absolutely, you can. You can commit to mastery, learn from the best. You could do my education programs, and you can go and do this yourself. But have you got the time to do that? Have you got the time to master it? Have you got the length of time in terms of getting financially free to master that? Or actually, do you want to outsource and have an expert just deliver this for you, with kind of as a done for you package? In which case, this Insight portfolio is for you. So the 10 key areas are there. I'm not going to dive into them because that's not what this webinar is about. But when you put it all together, it's the safe, secure portfolio plan, which is what this is about. Now, if we're going to build your portfolio, you need to know that the properties that we're going to buy for you are world class. And part of the simple selection system that sits here within the plan piece on the right hand side, the simple selection system, part of the simple selection system are what we call our 6 C's. The 6 C's are the rules that we use at the Insight Group to guarantee that we only ever buy the best properties for you. If we're buying properties at discount, we will look at a minimum of 60 properties that are already discounted. Most investors would jump at the chance to just buy one house with a discount. They go, that's amazing, it's got a great discount, I'm buying it. We'd look at 60 of those at least and reject 59 out of 60 because they don't meet one of our other rules. Now, I'm going to assume that you understand what our rules are, what our 6 C's are, okay? I'm going to assume that for now just because of time restraints. But if you don't understand that, then if you do choose to follow up with us, then our team can send you out a detailed video. It's only about 15 minutes long, where I go through the 6 C's in detail. Or you can go to our website, which is www.theinsightgroupportfolio for our done for you products.co.uk. That's www.theinsightgroupportfolio.co.uk, and in the drop down menu there is the 6 C's, so you can go and look at those. Okay, but let's assume that you understand these. You understand that our 6 C's are so rigorous that even on a discounted property, most investors will just jump up one, and it'd take them about 100 people hours on average to find one. We will reject 59 out of 60. just to recommend one to you. So it's like 6,000 people hours. Doesn't take us as long because we're experts, but 6,000 people hours to get that one property. That's how fussy we are. If we're going to build your portfolio, it's going to be a world-class portfolio, okay? And those 6 C's are shared elsewhere. To give you a feel, this is 3-4 bedroom family let, traditional buy-to-let, 3-4 bedroom family let, close to great secondary or primary schools, in great cash flow areas and great capital growth areas, because you need both. You know, you buy in London at the moment, you might get capital growth in the long run, but the cash flow is dead. Okay, right now it's not a place to invest for cash flows. If the mortgage rates went up a couple of percent, loads of people upside down. You must have great capital growth and great cash flow, so your investment is all weathered, that it works in all seasons. Okay, so we need both of those things at the table. We need to be, you know, working in great areas for that reason, good road network, good public transport networks, etc., etc. You can go read more about those 6 C's. Okay, so when we put all this together and we start to grow portfolios for you, we start to get great results. If we're buying the right properties, we also make sure those properties will rent in advance of buying it for you. So we have one of those C's is a check where we will advertise a property to let before we've even bought it to make sure there's great rental demand. Okay, Chris is a client who invested with us. He started his property journey in 2010 with us. So he invested 110,000 and he purchased 3 properties. He's now got 7 properties without adding any other funds. And he's got a portfolio worth nearly £1 million. And he's seen a 225% return on his investment within that 9-year period. Now he's just about to release from his 7 properties and buy another 3, which will get him to 10. With 10 properties, he's going to be receiving 20,000 in rental profit and close to 40,000 in equity releases each year. So Chris started with 110,000, within 9 years, £60,000 per annum, virtually tax-free, inflation-proof for life. Okay. Now I know this investment is a 250k plus one, so the results, of course, in fact, they don't just go up pro rata; they go even faster, because the more houses you buy, the sooner it speeds up and speeds up. Steph started investing with us when she got divorced. Now, when she got divorced, she got a payout. This is a little one. She wanted to spend more time with the little one rather than at work. Okay, so she took the payout. Instead of putting it into a house, she invested it, and we used it to buy her 5 properties. Okay, and there's a typo there. It says Leanne, but it's Steph. So she currently works as a consultant. Now she has the flexibility. Those 5 properties are making a £1,400 net rental profit every month, and the properties are increasing in value. So she can take that £1,400 and say, do you know what, I'm not going to work a day this week, or I'm not going to work 2 days a week. I can spend it with my child instead. Property gives you choices. This is the point that I'm making. Property gives you the choice to keep working the same or to work less. It gives you choices. Okay, you then make your own choices. In the next 6 months, she'll be able to refinance those properties, release some more money out, and buy further properties, which will create even more rental profit, and will be even more properties then going up in value as the market goes up. So who is Insight Portfolio Gold for? Okay, what kind of person is this for? It is for you if you've got £250,000 plus to invest. It is for you if you want superb return on investment. Remember, if it's sat in equity, in other investment properties, or in the bank, it's earning you nothing. And if it's sat in a savings account, it's earning you 1% a year, probably at best. So we're talking about returns on investments. And these returns, by the way, are based on modest property price growth. If you believe that the property investment market, the property market, is going to go up on average at 4% a year or above, this investment is for you. By the way, if you think it's only going to go up 1 or 2%, don't invest in property. Over the next decade, if you think there'll be minimal growth in property, then you're buying the wrong asset. Go buy something else. I feel really comfortable, and the team can show you the stats on this. The national average over the last 85 years is 7.9% per annum growth. That includes all the drops, the downturns, the flat periods. That's the national average. We model at half of that. Okay, when you do a decade with compound interest, half of that is 5% per annum compounded over 10 years, is half of 7.9% per annum compounded over 10 years. So we model our spreadsheets at 5%, and I feel incredibly comfortable at that. But if, as long as you believe that property investment will go up at 4% a year over time, you're going to get returns on investments of 100% plus after 6 years and 480% plus after 12 years. Okay, this is for you if you want investment returns like that. This is for you if you want it done for you. So you're getting those returns without you having to do the hard yards. We're going to source the properties, negotiate on them, sort the solicitor, sort the mortgage broker, get the property bought, refurbish it, tenant, and manage it. It is for you if you understand this isn't get rich quick. I'm not here saying I'll get you rich quick, but I will get you wealthy in a good amount of time. It is for you if you want the experts to do it for you, and it is for you if you want to de-risk as much as possible. You could go out and try and do this yourself, but what mistakes will you make? In my first 10 properties were a nightmare. I had tenants not paying me, I had people trashing my properties, I had void periods where my properties were empty, and it's because I bought the wrong houses. And sometimes it cost me hundreds of pounds, sometimes it cost me thousands. A couple of mistakes cost me tens of thousands over time. So it's because I didn't know what I was doing. We bring that expertise to the table. Having bought over 1,000 for our other clients, we know what works, we know what doesn't work. So you don't need to make those mistakes I made all those years ago. But let's be clear, who is this not for? Okay, this isn't for you if you're looking for get rich quick. Okay, that's not who I am. We're straight talking Yorkshire people. This isn't for you. It isn't for you if you want a property job. If you're wanting to manage this yourself, spend 30 hours, 20 hours, 40 hours a week doing property yourself, then go look at my education packages. Done for you isn't them for you. You know, if you want a property job now and you want a property job in the future when you're financially free, this isn't for you. Okay. If you prefer to take all the risks, if you go, do you know what? I know I'll make mistakes and I know I won't do it as well, but I'm willing to take those risks and I'm willing to lose that extra bit of money because I prefer doing it myself. This isn't for you. If you're not willing to pay for outstanding support, you know, then this isn't for you. Okay. Most of you will have heard of Warren Buffett. Okay, arguably the most successful investor of our time. Warren says, buy when everybody else is selling. Buy when others are fearful is another one of his phrases. Right now with Brexit, right now with the unknown around Brexit and what's going on through the UK, people are fearful. There will never be a better time in your future lifetime to buy property than right now. Right now, while people are fearful, there will never be a better time to buy because people are pausing, people are hesitating. You can negotiate, you can get better deals. We're seeing that in the marketplace all the time. Now is the time to be getting on with this. Next year, the year after will not be as good a time to buy as it is right now. Okay, Warren Buffett says, buy when everybody else is selling, buy when others are fearful. Okay, now let me talk briefly about leverage with you. If you've got £100,000 to invest and you go buy a house for cash, let's say. So in this example, on the left-hand side, £100,000 property, no mortgage on it, we bought it for cash. The market goes up 10%. So your £100,000 house is now worth £110,000 and you've still got no mortgage on it. So the market went up 10% and your equity grew by 10%. You made a 10% return in effect. Market went up 10%, you made a 10% return. It's exactly the same, by the way, if you invest in the stock market, isn't it? If you buy £100,000 of Tesco shares, the market goes up 10%. Your Tesco shares are now worth 110,000. You've made 10,000 of growth when the market went up 10%. What we need to do is leverage a couple of things. I call it in total my 4 Ps, but I'm just going to talk about 2 of the Ps right now. The first thing we need to leverage is our pounds. If we've got 100,000 to invest in this example, instead of putting that down on one house, we can turn that into 4 deposits. We can go buy 4 houses still for 100,000 each, but put a 25,000 deposit down on each one and just borrow 75,000 against that relevant property. That allows us to buy 4 instead of 1. I know there are other costs of purchase, but just for simplicity for the illustration. Now when the market goes up 10%, we've got 4 houses going up in value 10%. Number 1 goes up to 110, number 2 to 110, number 3 to 110, number 4 to 110. So we get 40,000 of equity growth, even though the market only went up 10%. We made £40,000 from our 100,000 investment. Even more exciting is we can go back to the banks as long as we put our rents up each year, and at the Insight Group, every single year without fail, the rents go up 3 to 5%. But as long as we put up those rents each year, 3 to 5%, we could go back to the bank and say, hey, bank, house is now worth 110. Can I borrow 75% of that value, please? And they say, yes, you can. And that's now 82.5. So we pay off the old mortgage of 75. We borrowed an extra 7,500 on property 1, 7,500 on number 2, 7.5 on number 3, 7.5 on number 4. We're able to borrow 30,000 back out of the 100,000 we invested to start with. And we can either pay that back off where we got the 100,000 from to start with, if that came out of our own equity or what have you, or you take the 30,000, you buy property number 5. You buy property number 5. But you can see when you compare the two, 10% market up, 10,000 of equity growth, or exact same scenario, but you've used your money and used banks finance, 10% market up, 40,000 of equity growth and 30,000 of equity released. You know, it just doesn't compare. By the way, these 4 houses, I know they'll have mortgage on them, but the rental profit from the 4 will be more than the rental profit from the 1 with no mortgage on it. Now, what's the second P? The second P is, as well as leveraging our pounds, we want to leverage the price we buy at. Now, I'm not promising you we're going to get this level of discounts. This product doesn't come with this level of discount, but I just wanted to show you the illustration. So on the left-hand side now, let's assume we buy our houses for 80,000 instead of 100. So in this example, we buy them for 80, we get a mortgage for 60. So now the deposit we need is only 20,000 for house 1, 20,000 for house 2, etc. So we can buy 5. The market goes up 10%. We have 5 houses go up in value. So down at the bottom here, we've made 50,000 of equity growth, and we made 100,000 of equity from the discount because they had 20,000 discount each. So we've made 150,000 pounds of equity, even though the market only went up 10%. More importantly, when we refinance, we're borrowing 75% of the 110 again on the right-hand side, same as last time. So we're borrowing 82,500, but this time the previous mortgage was only 60,000, whereas on the last page it was more. So we're able to release 22,500 for property 1, 22,500 for property 2, etc. 5 houses, 112,500 released. It's our 100,000 that we put down back out again. Back out again. So in this example, the market only went up 10%. It doesn't matter if that takes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. The market only went up 10%, but we made 150,000 of equity growth for just a 10% rise. You've got to leverage discounted properties, and you've got to leverage using banks finance, borrowing at 75%. Mitchell's another client of ours that did that. Mitchell wanted to spend more time with his kids. They're his priority. He started his property portfolio only 2 years ago, 150,000 investment. He's now on his 8th property with us. Now, it's a good job he's done that. He didn't know this was happening, but he's actually been made redundant. And as the point of being made redundant, he's got 8 properties with us, 1,500 of rental profit per month, so that's 18 grand a year, and about 24,000 that he can release. So Mitchell's able to live on £42,000 per annum, starting with 150k investment a couple of years ago. Now, that's not enough. Well, it is enough, but he doesn't want to live off that. So he is going back to work. He is getting another job. But guess what? The redundancy is not a pressure now. He can find the right job. He can take his time. And in the meantime, spend more time with his kids. Property gives you choices. You know, Parag started investing with us. When Parag started investing with us, really intelligent business person. At that point, he'd been investing in property for about 9 years. When he met us, he dabbled as an amateur, got about 3 properties. We showed him what to do, you know, and within a very short period of time, we'd moved him from 3 to 10 properties, all within 12 months, So for clients who've got £250,000 plus to invest, what are we doing? Well, we have 2 products available. We have our silver product and our gold product. So with a 250k plus investment, you can see the silver product. This table shows you after 6 years how many properties you'd have, and how much, if you stopped after 6 years investing, how much you'd be able to release from rental profits and equity release per annum for the rest of your life based on 5% growth, and what your return on investment is. And then you've got the same information for 12 years. So we're talking on this webinar about Insight Portfolio Gold, a 250k investment. We're going to start and get you 6 or 7 properties within the next 4 months. Okay, I'm going to specifically work with you. So I will work with my teams to source you the right properties for you, okay, according to our really strict rules, and we'll put those in your portfolio. So you'll get 6 to 7 within the next 4 months. We'll have those sourced and we'll get those bought. You're then, within 6 years, you'll have been able to release from those and grow to having 13 properties based on just 0% growth year one, 5% per annum after that. And if you stopped after that, you'd be on 80 grand a year. Some people go, that's enough for me after 6 years. If I'm on 80 grand a year, bingo, I can quit my job, I can live off it, I'm happy. If you want us to keep growing it, within 12 years, you'd be on 30 properties based on 5% growth. No more money being put in, no more money being added to this, and you're then able to release with rental profit £250,000 a year for the rest of your life. So you put 250k in, by year 12 you're on £250,000 a year. If you were in a room in front of me, I'd say, who'd like 250,000 a year? You would all put your hands up. That's a great place to be. And this is safe, secure family investment, by the way. This isn't taking gambles, it's not taking risks, it's de-risking as much as we possibly can. 400, if you sold up your properties at that point after 12 years, you'd have nearly have 5 times the money in the bank that you started with. You'd have made over £1 million of growth over that period. Compare that with earning 1% per annum in a savings account or 0% in equity, and it's all being done for you by the expert. So this is being done properly. Okay, so I want to make this a no-brainer for you. If you decide to work with us, here's the things that we put in with this when you're investing 250k plus. Okay, the first 4 or 5 bonuses everybody gets on our done for you products as bonuses, and because we're serious about this, and then there's extra bonuses for 250k plus. So the first thing is 15 years of world-class property expert advice. So we're not just going to buy you these properties and then leave you to it, source the properties. We're not a property sourcer. We look at you for the next 15 years minimum. We want to look after you for decades, by the way. So, but we say we commit to at least 15 years, and you will have a personal property expert, someone who spends their life and their living reviewing people's portfolios and saying, do you know what, you can release from properties 1 and 3 now and buy number 8. You can release from number 6 and 2 and buy number 9. You do that and you can easily knock 2 or 3 years off a financial freedom plan, this level of investment. So they'll be letting you know when you can release. They'll be letting you know exactly how your investment is performing every 6 months and what the next steps are to keep growing that portfolio. Okay, you've got that person working for you. Let's say the value of that is £250 a year. They're going to do it for the next 15 years. So there's about 4 grand worth of value there that you get in with this. Okay, bonus number 2. Bonus number 2, our world-class teams. It took me 2 decades to build our contractors, our tradespeople, our financial advisors, our solicitors, our accountants to advise you on the tax side of things, our property sources, our over 5,000 people sending us deals, etc., 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 our mortgage brokers, our solicitors. Took 2 decades to build all of that team. You get my team, okay? In fact, I made mistakes. I picked the wrong team members. That cost us money. Tens and tens of thousands of pounds of money was spent to build this world-class team, so you don't need to do it. Let's say that has a value of a couple of £1,000. You're getting that with this. That team becomes yours. And by the way, you can use that team for any deals you do yourself separately to us, or any properties you've already got separately to us. Bonus number 3. Bonus number 3, your mortgage and your buildings insurance review and push. So any properties you already have before you met us, plus all the properties we're going to buy for you, we're going to track those mortgages for you if you want us to, which you will. We're going to make sure 3 months before they're due for renewal, we're telling you what you can release. If you can release, we're telling you where the best deal is. We're making sure you get into the best possible place. We're tracking the lot. Same with your bill insurance. We're making sure you're insured to the right level of insurance for the right piece. Okay. One of the biggest risks, which I'll cover in a moment, to an investor is they buy a property. Do you read the 50 pages of small print that comes with your insurance policy? No, nobody does. But in that small print, if your property is empty for 8 weeks between tenants, do you know whether you need to check it every 2 weeks, every 1 week? Do you know if you have to drain down all the systems? So when it comes to a claim and the property's burnt to the ground while it was empty, are they going to pay out, or are they not going to pay out because of the little bits in the small print you didn't do? Okay, we're going to manage all of that for you, get you with the best providers, and we're going to make sure if there is any claims needed, that claim management is managed for you, so you don't have to go fight with the insurance company on that. Let's say that's just worth £99 a year, tracking all your mortgages, tracking all your insurance. It's worth miles more than that, save you tens of thousands over the years. But £99 a year, 15 years, there's about £1,500 worth of value there in that bonus. We do all that for you, okay? Bonus 4, compliance management. You know, these days, do you know that you need professional indemnity cover to ensure that you're protected? Now, that normally comes within your buildings insurance, but you're protected at the right level. If a slate fell off your roof and hit a passerby and caused them to be disabled for the rest of their life, are you protected? Are you covered? You don't want to be investing in property to build a great financial future and risking anything you've already got, like your freedom. Do you know the health and safety rules? Are you on top of those? All the letting laws, the right to reside that's come in. Do you know about the changes to Section 21? Okay, and making sure your void properties are protected from an insurance point of view. All of that compliance stuff is managed for you. Again, let's just say that's £97 a year, okay, for the next 15 years, another £1,500 worth of stuff, but this is all done for you, all done for you. Bonus 5, okay, we'll make sure you're buying in the correct structure. If you're investing at this level, you need to know that whether you should be buying in limited company, buying in your own name. You need to be buying in the right structure. We'll introduce you to my personal property tax accountants, and they will ensure that we're buying the properties in the right name. It might be you buy some in your own name to start with and then limited company. It might be best for you to buy straight in limited company. It might be best for you to buy in your own name. They'll work with you once we're clear on your purpose and your goals and where you're going. They'll work with you, not just this year, but year after year after year, to make sure you're buying in the right structure. Oh, I've put the value of that at £100 per annum. Obviously, it costs a couple £100 just to get an hour with these accountants normally. So I've put that at £1,500 over the next 15 years. It's worth a lot more than that. But that is in your corner. All these things are in your corner. You're going to be compliant. You're going to be set up in the right way. You're going to be tracking your finances correctly. You're going to be set up tax efficiently as possible, getting great return on investment, buying great houses. Okay. So that's specifically for you at this 250K plus level. Okay. Bonus 6. I want to educate you as you go if you would like to be educated. So you may say, I don't want to be educated, you're just doing it for me. But many people at this level go, do you know what? I want to know how to do it for myself as well, even if that's just to check you're doing it properly, or it may be that in the future you want to go off and do it yourself. So my VIP educational package, anybody else like Simon Zucci, Progressive Properties, Legacy would charge £20,000 plus for the VIP program, the equivalent of what we have. Okay, it's 19 days of property education training live in person, and you can re-come to the 19 days as often as you want over a 2-year period. You have my personal email address to ask me any property questions you want about any properties you had before you were with me and any investing you're doing with me. We have a fortnightly live webinar. You can ask me any questions that you want. My personal email, as I've said. You get to listen to me speak as part of that training. I bring in 6 other world-class property experts. You get 4 VIP tickets to bring along your friends to my 3-day event, my Property Mentorship Academy, for free. It's normally a couple of £1,000 to come to that. So there's £10,000 worth of tickets there. You can bring them along for free, etc., etc. As I say, elsewhere you'll pay £20,000 plus for that. I'm going to give you that as a thank you for committing to me and using our done for you service to grow your portfolio. Okay, and you get to meet with such like-minded people, successful people making this happen for themselves in property. Okay, so that's the VIP educational package. That's bonus 6, and then you've got bonus number 7. Bonus 7 is me personally working with you. So here's the thing. For the last 3.5 years, I've not worked with clients directly anymore. I have a team of directors and managers who get this done. Okay, but this is a new product we're launching, and at this level, we've had other investments at 250K plus. We've worked with lots of clients, but this Insight Portfolio Gold is a new product that we've just launching, and I want to ensure we have phenomenal case studies just like the ones you've been seeing. I want more. So here's the deal. If you're willing to be my case study, I will personally work with the sourcing teams to make sure that I'm personally vetting any property that gets put in front of you. I've got over 200 in my own portfolio. My businesses have helped others to buy over 1,000 already. I'm going to personally be involved, and over the next 4 months, we're going to get you that 250K in play, so you've got your first 6 or 7 properties bought. Okay, so you'll have me personally involved in those first 6 to get your foundations in place and get this investment off to a phenomenal start. Okay, I'm going to argue that that's priceless. Okay, but you've got me personally involved with the investment. Okay, now we're guaranteeing to source you properties with a 7.5% discount. okay? 7.5% discount. Now, that's not a discount from what it's for sale for on Rightmove. The average house on average sells for 7% below the last listed price on Rightmove. So let's think about this. If it's up for sale on Rightmove at 107,000, 108,000, it will sell for 100. We're going to get you at least 7.5% off that. So we're now buying it for 92,500. It was last listed price was 108, and it was maybe listed before 112, something like that. You're buying it for 92. These are genuine great discounts, and they're going to meet every other rule. So you know it will always rent for the rest of your life. Most of these properties will be new build, because that reduces your maintenance cost, that drives down your maintenance cost, but they'll be family. We're not buying flats, we're not buying apartments, we're not getting into that mess. Doesn't work. We're buying 3, 4 bedroom family let properties that are going to grow superbly for you, but they're going to rent quickly and easily all the time, and your maintenance cost over those first 20 years is going to be absolutely minimal compared to the other maintenance costs, meaning that your cash flow we create will be superb as well as your capital growth. Okay, so I want to give you some guarantees alongside all these bonuses. I mean, those bonus, I could have stacked it up like the Americans do. I could have said there's $5 of this of bonus. There's, you know, there was, without the priceless bit, there was at least £20,000 worth of bonuses there in with this. Guarantee number one: you will never ever buy a bad property that will cost you a single extra penny again. So when someone invests with us, if you put 250,000 in, you'll never put another penny in again. If you put $500,000 in, you'll never put another penny in again. We're going to work with the money that you've put in to build you a portfolio. Because we buy to these 6 Cs with over 1,000 purchases already, we've never had a client have to put another penny in again. Guarantee number two, okay? Guarantee number two is if you invest £250,000 and will let us create your portfolio over 12 years based on 5% property price growth. We obviously can't control that. Okay, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't guarantee you that. But as long as the market goes up on average at 5%, we're guaranteeing to turn that 250k investment into a portfolio that makes you 250k plus per annum for the rest of your life. The majority of it tax-free. Okay, so I hope this is making sense. Okay, we're going to build you a superb portfolio. We're going to get you superb return on investment, and we're going to grow you. We're going to grow you a superb portfolio. So now, what we're looking for, if people are willing to commit, if people are ready to move forward, I just want to work with 5 people. I don't need thousands of case studies. I want 5 case studies where I can say, work with these people, here's the results. And within 6 months, we'll have bought you 6, 7 properties. We're going to get you them within 4 months. It might take up to 6 months to get them all completed, but we're going to bought you 6, 7 properties. You'll be on your way. And I'll be able to say, look, here's the case study. Here's exactly what we promised. And here's exactly what we did. So if you're interested in going ahead and working with us, then of course you need to get all the information to make an informed decision. You're not going to make a decision right now this second, okay? But these spaces will go within the next 14 days. Without a shadow of a doubt, within the next 14 days, we will fill these slots, because I haven't worked directly with people for a long time, okay? And this is a serious commitment from me to grow you a superb portfolio. By the way, it says 6 spaces, 1 has already gone. Okay, the team spoke to somebody before we ran this webinar, so that's why 5 spaces. Okay, so here's the bonus. If you go ahead, if you end up going ahead within the next 14 days, you need to do your due diligence. You need to check us out. You need to speak to whoever you need to speak to. My team will work with you, but here's the bonuses. When somebody works with us, how do we make our money? There are 4 ways we normally make our money. The first is we charge a mentorship fee, so a joining fee, as you will, to join us and have us grow you a successful portfolio. The second is for each property that we source and manage for you. So remember, we're not a sourcing company. We do all the work to source, negotiate, sort the solicitor, sort the mortgage, get it bought, refurbish, tenant, and manage it. But on top of that, we're going to track this property for the next 15 years. We're going to do all that bonus stuff, track the mortgages, track the insurances, make sure it's always on the best deal, release when we can, buy more properties, have a property expert do a review for you every 6 months so you know your money's always in the best place. It's always working as hard as possible. That is $4,750 plus VAT per property, but that covers the whole of the 15 years, the compliance, everything else that we're going to do for you within that, okay? We used to And we do, on some products, take a profit share. Okay, I've given a clue at what your bonus is going to be. And then our letting agency, profit share was a share of the upside. Our letting agency, Insight Lettings, will manage the properties for you. So you don't have to use them. You can manage them yourself. You can give them to another letting agent if you want to keep us on our toes, but we'll deliver. So it's $450 plus VAT to find you a tenant, and it's 11% plus VAT for management. But that's all factored in when we buy the deals, factored into the spreadsheets. So when we're quoting the returns on investments, we've taken account of all of these. The fast action bonus. So for those of you that go ahead in the next 14 days, as well as getting all those 7 bonuses that I offered, as well as getting to work with me in person, getting that VIP package worth £20,000 plus, etc., we're going to first of all take off the membership fee. We're going to make that free. We're going to knock that fee off in its entirety, and we're going to take off the profit share. You will not need to give me any part whatsoever of the upside. Okay, and every investment fee you pay to us, by the way, is tax deductible. So when I've said that $4,750 plus VAT for each property, so it's 5,700. If you're a 40% taxpayer, okay, you'll be able to offset 40% of that against your tax. So that 5,700 becomes a lot lower once you've claimed back the tax on it. It becomes 3,420 for 15 years. Not only is sourcing an amazing property to start with that has a guaranteed 7.5 genuine discount that makes great cash flow and all the other things, having me work on it in person, but 15 years of all that other stuff, tracking this, building you an amazing portfolio for just 3,400 per property after tax. Okay, and the letting agency fees, of course, are all paid for out of the profit, the rents that we're collecting for you. If we're not collecting rents, you're not going to be paying for us. So it's all tax deductible. Remember that. Okay, so we've covered that. All our investment fees tax deductible. So bottom line, your investment, you need at least 250,000. People invest $500,000, they invest 350,000, they invest 750. You know, you will choose your level, but you need at least 250,000. If you invest 250,000, your investment fees for those first properties that we talked about are 34,200. These are not separate. They come out of the 250,000. Okay, they come out. That will get you 6 properties up and running from day one. Okay, so what's the return you get on that investment? Because you're deciding, do I part with this 34,000? What return on investment will I get? Remember, your 250,000 is going to grow 101% within 6 years. It's going to grow 475, 480% within 12 years. Okay, you get a guaranteed 7.5% discount on every property we buy. So if they're 100K each, you're getting a guaranteed genuine discount of 7.5K on each of those 6 properties. So that on its own more than covers our investment fees. You're getting guaranteed you're buying the right properties. We're rejecting, so you buy the right properties. You've got guaranteed peace of mind because we're doing it all for you and you're working with the experts. So you don't have sleepless nights. You're not worrying about it. You're not worried you're doing it wrong. You know that you're compliant. And a 250K investment over 12 years will create you 250,000 per annum, tax-free and inflation-proof for the rest of your life from year 12 onwards. Okay, that's what you're looking at. That's what you're looking at. So we've gone through the key guarantees, but to just kind of overlay them, we're going to buy just to the 6 C's. It's going to be bespoke and personal to you. This isn't one size fits all. We're going to find out what your goals are, remember, and then we're going to bespoke to this to you. We guarantee your property's rent within 10 weeks. If we don't, we pay the rent because we know they're going to rent. Rental checks are carried out on the properties before purchase. We look at 100 plus properties just to recommend one to you. So on the discount, it's a minimum of 60, but on average, it's 100 plus. And you've got total control, no tie-ins. I haven't covered that, but you're not tied into us. We just want you, we know we'll deliver. So we don't have to tie you in. We know we'll deliver. Okay. So my goal, as I said, is to have even more case studies like the ones that I've just shown you. Okay. Here's another one. Simon Carroll started with us 2013. They invested 200K. They've got now 12 houses worth well over 1.4 million. And within the next 12 months, they're going to buy another 4, taking them to 16 properties. They've seen 174% return on investment in just 6 years. Okay, who'd like that? We all would. They receive nearly 2,000 per month in rental profit. That's 24,000 a year, and upwards of 50,000 a year in equity releases. So they invested 200k. They're on 74,000 pound per annum if they stopped. Now they're not stopping. They want more properties. They're growing. Okay. Here's Mark, who's one of the first people I work with. So Mark says, since then, I've grown a portfolio of £6 million worth of property that creates £6,000 per month of cash flow for me, and a further 6,000 for my JV partner, and 300k of equity growth each year. So he's on 72,000 a year of cash flow and 150k his share. So he's on 200,000 plus every single year as a result of working with me to grow a portfolio. Okay, so I want you to be next. That's the bottom line. I would like to work with you to do this for you, to build you a superb portfolio. Okay, so what I'd like to suggest that you do is book a call with one of my mentors and let's see if we're the right fit. Every single case study you've seen, those people started with a call with one of my team. It's a 45-minute call. You'll get great value out of the call whether you end up working with us or not. During that call, they'll help you get clear on your purpose and your vision and where you're trying to get to. They'll look at the resources that you've got to get there, and they'll see if we can build a plan and whether we are the right fit or not. They will treat you like you're their brother, their sister, their father, their mother. They'll be very straight talking with you. And if we're not the right fit, by the way, they're going to say, I'm really sorry, we are not the right fit. Because we want to work with people who want to get this done. You know, I don't want to mess around. I want to get you those 6 outstanding properties in the next 4 months, completed within the next 6 months. You're up and running, and you know, within 6 years you've got 13, within 12 years you've got 30 plus. We're going to build you a superb portfolio. And if you're not up for that, or we don't think that you'll be, you know, you'll be able to go through those gears with us from that point of view, then we'll just be polite and we'll tell you and we'll point you in a different direction. We'll point you in the right direction for you. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is book a call. If you're serious about this, book a call with my team, and they can then go through that exercise with you. And at the end of that, if we believe that you will be the right fit, if we believe you will be, they'll tell you that. And then they can send you over the spreadsheets that we have and all the other information. You can speak to current clients so you know that we deliver what's on the tin, and we can investigate whether we could work together. Okay. By the way, if you book a time and you don't show, that will tell us straight away that we're not the right fit, because we need to work with people who want to get this done and are going to deliver on their promises. They're going to show up. We're going to do all the work, but you need to show up at the times you say you'll show up. So if you'd like to book a time to do that, all you need to do, no one else can see it, is in the chat box on the right hand side. Go find the chat box and just say, please, can I book a time? And tell us the day and the time that you're available to take a call. Okay. The other thing you need to do, we need the day and time that you're available to take a call, and we need to put your phone number in there. Why do I need your phone number? Sometimes when you register for these webinars, you're not sure what we're going to do. You put in a spam phone number or a spoof number, or you don't even put a number at all, and then we can't get hold of you. So you're going, they haven't rung me, but we can't actually get hold of you. So put your number in there just to clarify your best number. Put a day. You might go tomorrow at 2 p.m. Okay. You might go, I'm not free in the week, or I'm free on Thursday evening at 5 p.m. You might go, I'm free on Saturday at 2 p.m. You know, just put your time in. The team then tomorrow will text you to confirm that appointment. If it clashes with my team members, you know, you've got Danny, you've got Matt, you've got Paul. If it clashes and they're not able to do it, none of them are able to do it, they'll let you know. And then on text, they can rebook a different time with you. But if you put your time, your preferred time, they'll do their absolute best to live to that. You'll need 45 minutes available. So make sure you're going to be available and make sure you show up for it. Because if you don't show up, you're not going to be one of those 5 remaining slots. You're not going to be one of those 5 people that I work with. Remember the guarantees that we're offering you. So you'll never, ever buy a bad property that costs you a single extra penny again. Whatever money you put into a deal, you'll never have to add to it because of those golden rules. And with a 250,000 investment, we're going to create you a portfolio over 12 years that makes you 250k plus per annum. How else are you going to do that? Where else are you going to do that? Safely and securely, de-risked as possible, working with people that have been there, done there, got the t-shirt. You know, I always say, if you're having brain surgery, Do you want the surgeon to walk in and go, this is my first operation, or I've done this 6 times myself before, or do you want an expert who's done it again and again and again and again and again? Okay, I know this isn't brain surgery, but you work hard for that money to get that equity together, or get that money together, or you know, or you inherit that money. You need to look after it. Think of the brain surgeon analogy, or you know, or the gas. If the gas is leaking, you've got kids in the house. You don't go, I'll go read a book and learn to do this myself. You get an expert in to fix the problem, an absolute expert. You want them to be brilliant. Okay, that's what we bring to the table. And remember, all of those investment fees with us, we've taken off the mentorship fee, we've taken off the profit share. So those investment fees really are reduced. They come out of the 250,000. They're not something separate, and they're all tax deductible. It makes it like, for 40% taxpayer, less than 3,500 per property, and you get all of those bonuses that we talked about earlier on. Okay. So that's what we're able to do. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're able to do. That's what we deliver to you as a business. Okay. So if you're interested, you need to do exactly what I said. You need to put in and book a slot to speak to one of my property experts. Okay. As I said, you'll get great value out of that 45 minutes regardless. Whether you end up working with us or not, because they'll help you get clear on your purpose and where you're trying to get to. They'll help you get clear on your resources and what your options are. They'll be very honest with you, so they'll say if we're the right fit or not. If we are potentially the right fit, then they'll send you out the information you need so that you can then ascertain exactly, you know, do your proper due diligence to work out if we are the company to deliver this for you. If you do go ahead and work with us, if you're one of the 5 people that we choose to work with in the next couple of weeks, remember, you're going to get all of those bonuses. So you're going to get that world-class property expert who just does this for a living, tracking your portfolio right the way through over the coming years to make sure it's always in the best place. You're going to get our world-class teams that took 2 decades to put together, become your world-class teams, accountants, mortgage brokers, solicitors. We're going to track your mortgages. We're going to track your buildings insurance every year for the next 15 years at least. We're going to manage all of your compliance. So the lettings laws, the health and safety, the professional indemnity cover, the ASTs, the section 21s, the void property protection when a property is empty. We're going to make sure you're buying the correct limited structure, limited or own name, and what's best for you year after year after year. I'm going to give you that VIP educational package, 19 days of property training live for you and a guest, and 5 tickets, VIP tickets to come to my 3-day event for friends that might be interested in property. And I'm personally, I haven't done it for 3.5 years. I'm going to be working with you for the first 6 properties to really get you off to a flyer, and we're going to get those properties within the next 6 months, all with at least 7.5% discount on them, all great cash flow, all great capital growth, all bought to gold rules. You get all of that in together, so you know that you're buying superb investment properties time and time again. Bottom line, it's about return on investment. You've got a choice of where you put your money. You want to get the best return you can for as little risk as possible. We're about de-risking. This isn't get rich quick. We're about de-risking as much as we can, but it does make you wealthy in a great amount of time. So go ahead right now, use that chat box, put in your details, your name, the best phone number for you, and then the date and the time that you are available to take a call, and the team will text you tomorrow to confirm that time and call, or if it's tomorrow, they'll ring you tomorrow, and then they'll work with you to build a superb portfolio. Okay, cool. Okay, so that is it for the webinar right now. Okay, I'm going to very quickly have a look and just see if there's any questions that have come in. The best way to get your questions answered, by the way, is to book a slot. The team will answer that slot because I've not got time now to answer all these questions. So make sure you book a slot and the team will answer the slot. By the way, if you're struggling to click, a couple of people have said they're struggling to click. They're struggling to enter the details to book a slot. So just to cover that, I'll pop it up here. I'd rather you typed it in because then you've got a booked time. We're going to deal with the people with a booked time first, and that might fill all the slots. But if you aren't able to do that, or if you're interested in our done for you service at a lower level, you could book a slot and say at a lower level and just put your investment amount. No one else can see what you put in that question area. Or you can click here to say, would you like one of the team to call? You can click yes, please. You can put maybe I'd like some more information, or you can put no, thank you, I'm just here for the education. In fact, every single one of you could click one of those while I'm looking at the questions, because you'll be in one of those 3 categories. So I've got a couple of questions which I'll deal with right now. Okay. Who checks the houses over and prices and works needed? Our expert team, Rob. So there's over 50 people that work for me. You know, I've a director team, a management team, and over 50 people working for us. We're buying 30 to 40 properties every single month at the moment for our clients. All those properties are viewed before we buy them, of course, by the agents. We ascertain what works will be needed. We get them refurbished. If they're new builds, there's not a lot of refurbish, obviously. There isn't any refurbish. If they're not new builds, which sometimes they're not, then again, you've got full estimates of all the work that's going to need to be done, and then we're managing them long term. So we manage those, again, world-class letting agent for very average prices, basically. So it's our job to manage the whole piece for you. Ravi's asked about the tax situation. Have you incorporated the tax situation? Absolutely. Now, everyone's tax situation is different, Ravi. So we will work with you specifically. We'll introduce you to our specialist. So the person that looks after my tax affairs and property will give you advice. So 98% of the time we can help a client these days. I went and interviewed about 3 years ago 5 of the leading property tax accountants in the UK. Said, what do my clients need to know to set up the right tax structure? So we have all that information anyway. But as part of this package, if you're investing 250k plus, we'll ensure that you're hooked up with my personal accountants and they spend time with you to make sure you're set up in the right structure. You can then choose to use them or not choose to use them longer term, but they'll make sure you're buying in the right structure. Rob's asking, are all the houses up north? No, Rob, we're looking for the best yields and the best capital growth opportunities. So right now in the UK at the moment, then the London market is kind of burst. The Southern market is kind of burst. The cash flow isn't there. So at the moment, the Midlands is rising the fastest. The Midlands for the last couple of years, certain parts, certain towns and cities up about 7% per annum. That M62 corridor is really healthy at the moment. And then within the next 18 months, we'll probably be up into the northeast a little bit more and the northwest. So, but you know, that M62 corridor, the Midlands, and up into the northeast. So kind of Newcastle down to Northampton, west coast to east coast. But we'll buy for capital growth and cash flow. The sweet spot for family lets, 3-4 bedroom houses right now is 70,000 to 130,000. And the reason that I say that, maybe up to 135,000 now, the reason I say that is that if you look at a house anywhere in the UK that you can buy for 100,000, let's say the rent, and then you check the rent in the area, let's say it's 600 a month. And then in the same area, you find a house you can buy for 200,000 within a mile. Look at the rent. It won't be double. It won't be 1,200. It won't even be 1,100 in that example, probably. It'd be 995. So you're not getting the cash flow on the more expensive properties. We need great capital growth, but we need great cash flow as well. So our 6 C's make sure that we buy at both. Ravi's put in that brand new properties are usually at a premium. Ravi, remember we're buying at discount. And remember, we're doing this day in, day out. You're not going to be paying a premium for these properties. They're going to be great properties that people want to rent, that have reduced maintenance costs. They're not all new builds, by the way. So you can say, I don't want new builds, okay? But you know, we're looking at we might have a builder comes to us, has built 50 properties, they've sold 45 already, so we know the price track record, and then we say these last 5, we'll buy those 5. They can close down their show home, they can get off site, they can close out their finance, get the site finished, but we want a discount for taking those 5 on. We want a good healthy discount on it. So there's just all sorts of opportunities because we're buying in bulk for our clients. Now you would then get one of those, Ravi, and other clients of ours would get one of the others. So we buy in bulk, and you benefit from those economies of scale. Okay. So there's quite a few of you that have put your name and number in and booked a call. So the team will text you tomorrow to confirm. If it's a problem, let them know, and then they will call you. They will call you at that time to speak to you then. So Mark, I can see your note saying your money's not available right now. It's going to be available in the future, so you'll contact us again then. What I'd suggest is book a slot with the team to do that review so we understand where you're at, and then they can explain, because this product, the ability to work with me, for example, will have gone by that time, unless we get in and book you onto a slot at this point in time. So if I were you, I'd book a slot and have that conversation. I know you won't have your money for 5 months, but then you know what your options are and you've explored your options, so you know in full what your options are. I'm being asked, are all the properties in the UK? They categorically are. So yeah, 100% all the properties are in the UK. Can I just ask you all to click as quick as you can, by the way, so I can close this poll down, because everybody can click. You either want contacting, it's a yes please, or you might be a maybe, I'd like some more information, or you might be a no thank you, just here for the education, but you can definitely click one of those three. So if you could just click one of those three as quickly as possible for me, then I can get that closed down and the slides back up again. Okay. Gary's asking, does it take years to make money, or how quickly did you get a return? It's not get rich quick, Gary. So if you're wanting to turn your 250K into 50,000 a year within a year, that's not what we do. Okay, you're in the wrong place. However, you will get a return relatively quickly. It depends. Everybody's different. Some people want to be more cash flow driven. They're like, you know what? It's important for me in the next couple of years to create. I've been made redundant. I need to create some income tomorrow, or I've retired. This is getting my retirement money working for me. I need to make more cash flow. Other people say this is a longer term play for me. I'm not bothered about making any money for the next 15 years. Just reinvest it, grow me a superb thing for the future. Everybody's different. That's why we bespoke it for you. So when you book that appointment with the team, they can then go through that and help you work out where you're trying to get to, and then they can tell you the best way to get there, and whether this is going to be the best way to get there or there's a better way. But again, Gary, you'd need to book that appointment with the team, have that conversation, have that 45-minute session, and out of that, you'll have total clarity of what's best for you in the property market and whether we're the right people to help you with that, or whether we're not. Okay. Cool. Okay. I'm being asked, will the 250K plus give me 10K plus income in the first year? Yes, it will. Yeah. I mean, your rental profits, if we buy you 6 houses and they make you a couple of £100 a month, that's 2,500 a year times 6, that's 15,000 a rental profit from 6 houses. So, and then they're going up in value, and you bought them at discount, so you can refinance and draw that out. So it's making you a lot more than 10,000 in that first year. But yeah, I wouldn't do that just for that first year, unless that's your goal, unless it's as simple as that, unless you're going on, my savings are making me 2,500 and this is going to make me more. But yeah, they'll make you a lot more than 10,000 in the first year if you invest 250K. Okay, there's loads and loads of questions piling in. I don't have the time to go through them all now. So thank you for everybody that's booked a slot. Thank you for everybody that's clicked, so we know who we're following up with and who we need to contact. That's really useful, so we can follow up with the right people. There's about 63% of you have clicked yes or maybe, 62, 63%, and 38, 37% keeps varying as different people click. Have said no, thank you, just here for the education, so that's cool. If you're just here for the education, remember you can ask my team about our VIP product. You can either email info@theinsightgroup.co.uk and ask them to send you out the information on that and a webinar on that, or you can follow up and have a chat with them. Okay. We will send you out a recording. So if you've got a spouse or a loved one, someone else you want to show this to, or you want to go back through it to understand it, that will come out in the next 24 to 48 hours. Just look out, set us as a safe sender. That will come from the Insight Group. So set us as a safe sender. You can see more on our website as well. We've got the insightgroup.co.uk as the overall of the company. There's then kind of 3 subsets of it. So you could go to the insightgroupportfolio.co.uk. The insightgroupportfolio.co.uk is all of our done for you information and products on there. So either way, I'm sure we're going to be working together with quite a few of you. I look forward to getting the 5 of you and really locking in and building your portfolios, exploding those over the next 4 months. Bottom line, invest with knowledge, invest with confidence, create financial freedom. I wish you all the best. Thank you for joining me right now. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.